who ain't had no hope in themselves, for God done rule over them, is an example of the Gullah Geechee dialect, simply meaning blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. The New Testament, Matthew 5, verse 3. At one time, to call someone a Gullah Geechee wasn't favorable and was considered a direct insult. Being linked with the terms Gullah or Geechee was full of embarrassment and shame. Who knew this emotional state would eventually fade away and become a celebration? I speak from experience, for I too am a Gullah Geechee. Historically, Gullah Geechee is an English-based Creole language developed by enslaved Africans along the coastal areas of the southeastern United States, which stimulates a rich culture. Today, most natives are very conscious of the Gullah Geechee dialect and its rich, unique aspect of the Southern heritage, and embrace it. In order to foster a great appreciation, I will begin by defining Gullah Geechee language, elaborate on the enslaved Africans along the coastal areas, and ultimately illuminate its rich culture. Let us start by explaining what is Gullah Geechee and its origin. The Gullah Geechee language, where did it all begin? The Sea Islands were heavily influenced by the Gullah Geechee dialect because of its ancestry pool of enslaved Africans along its coastal areas. Written in the Columbia Electronic Encyclopedia of October 1st, 2011, the Sea Island consists of a plethora of low islands, 100 or more stemming from the Atlantic coast of South Carolina, Georgia, North Florida, and extending from the Santee River to the St. Johns River. An African-American community of the Sea Islands speak the Gullah language Creole, with the possibility of deriving from the Angola African slaves, as they were the majority imported in Charleston. The Gullah Geechee dialect is not a result of broken English, as some may presume. Anderson Nate wrote in The Word from Geechee Town, there is a misconception that Gullah is broken English. Instead, it is a distinct grammar and vocabulary developed by the mixed slaves who spoke different languages using this dialect as a way of communication between one another. The seemingly unstructured sentence of the Gullah dialect fascinates many yet today and echoes a deep admiration for our ancestors. Slaves imported were from both West Indies and Africa, and Charleston is a well-known major hub for the arrival of the slaves. From the founding of Charleston in 1670, blacks were imported into the region, first in small numbers from the West Indies, and then in ever greater numbers directly from Africa. They were brought in to help with crafts, fishing, and farming, and especially in the cultivation of indigo, then rice, and finally sea cotton. In the final period from 1804 through 1807, 29,461 were brought into Charleston. Angolans were again in the majority, Pulitzer. The amount of slaves that were imported into Charleston was enormous. They greatly contributed to the cultivation of the land and were employed as hired as field hands, house slaves, and treated as property. Beaufort, South Carolina continues to celebrate its rich culture and its traditions. The Low Country is unmoved from its Gullah heritage and can be experienced by the locals and tourists at the Gullah Festival on Gullah Gullah Island. The Gullah remain true to its language, crafts, folklore, medicine, and cuisine. The traditional cooking of the Sea Islands, the infamous red rice, sweet potato poon, and shrimp and grits, to name a few, are the Gullah delicacy. Although much time has passed, the Gullah Geechee Sea Islanders will ever stand tall in the beauty of its rich culture and historical sites, with beautiful places and smiling faces, unveiling the hidden treasures of the past while exploring the mysteries of its ancestral inhabitants. Thank you.